From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, December 22nd, 2016. Silver is trading at $15.85 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,130 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 0.6 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $864. Antiwar.com reports officials familiar with the NSA surveillance program targeting Yahoo's email service say that the program reflects an ongoing effort to dramatically weaken the concept of privacy online, resting heavily on nebulous definitions of search and reasonable to argue for such a broad program. Back in October, it was revealed that Yahoo had been scanning every single email of every single account belonging to every single user, likely covering in excess of 1 billion separate accounts. As with virtually all major surveillance programs unveiled, the NSA denied it was happening, saying they'd never have permission to search through every email. Officials familiar with the FISA order from 2015, which spawned the program, however, say it was done by arguing that having computers conduct the preliminary search did not count as searching the email, arguing that private companies do so many digital searches it was only reasonable to let them do so as well. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence went a step further, arguing that since private companies conduct computerized scans of emails looking for viruses, the government should be able to scan the emails without a warrant. Legal experts warned the policy is unrecognizable from a Fourth Amendment perspective, though it appears with the surveillance programs that is very much the point, with the goal not just to keep authorizing the programs, but to keep the goalposts moving on future schemes. When her plush and comfy life suddenly and unexpectedly fell apart, Brooke and her dog Cloud set out to defy the odds. If this is a man's world, as they say, living on the streets is no place for a young woman. One day she awoke in the redwood forest and realized she had become a hobo, and would ultimately come to know exactly what it means to survive. How to Be a Hobo by Brooke Willett is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports even though a special legislative session was called entirely for the purpose of pulling North Carolina's highly critical bathroom bill off the books, lawmakers instead fought all day Wednesday and failed to complete the deal. Republican Governor Pat McCrory called for the special session on Monday after a surprise move by the Charlotte City Council to repeal a city ordinance that outlawed gender identity-based discrimination in public accommodations, a law that enabled transgender individuals freedom to use the public restroom for the gender they identify with. That Charlotte ordinance was the entire reason North Carolina Republicans passed HB 2 in March, a statewide counterstrike to block cities' laws and force everyone to use restrooms of the gender they were assigned at birth. With the Charlotte law dead, the outgoing governor asked lawmakers to reconvene and get rid of HB 2. Instead, lawmakers did not accomplish a thing on Wednesday as the Senate rejected a repeal and the House adjourned without even voting. Democrats blasted Republican lawmakers for effectively changing the rules in the middle of the game and accusing them of trying to short-circuit the session the minute it started on Wednesday. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Uber Technologies has removed its self-driving cars from San Francisco's streets, halting the autonomous program 1 week after it launched as the company faced a regulatory crackdown. The California Department of Motor Vehicles said on Wednesday it revoked the registration of 16 Uber self-driving cars because they had not been properly permitted. For the last week, the agency was demanding that Uber shut down its program and comply with regulations requiring a permit to test self-driving cars on public roads. Uber said it was not obligated to have a permit because its vehicles require continuous monitoring by a person in the car. The company unveiled its self-driving car in September in Pittsburgh. California defines autonomous vehicle as having the capability to drive without the active physical control or monitoring of a natural person. Uber had argued that the law does not apply to its cars, which cannot stay in autonomous mode continuously. A driver and an engineer are in the front seats to take over frequently in sticky traffic situations such as construction zones or pedestrian crossings. Uber's defiance was met with threats of legal action from the DMV and the state's attorney general. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.